Hello, folks. Well, last week I went to visit an old roller rink in Sheldon, Iowa that was converted a couple years ago to a shop selling antiques and vintage items when I found this vintage RCA 45 RPM record changer. Well, it was just like the one my dad had and that I played with when I was a kid. It may be an antique at 71 years old, but I call it vintage, as I call many of the things I really like, which the dictionary describes as meaning not new, but it is valued because of its good condition, its attractive or innovative design, or of a particular year of popularity, like vintage wine. Well, since I still have some of the 70-year-old records from my childhood, I decided to go ahead and buy it. It cost $14. Well, when I got it home, I plugged it in and found the motor worked, but it was thumping each time it went around and the turntable was slipping really badly. And you know, I've also seen these on eBay in working condition for over $350, so I decided I'd take it apart and figure out and see if I could fix it. Well, I found the drive wheel destroyed. It's made of rubber. And I began looking for a new one and finally found a new old stock one in a box for $35, so I popped for it. You know, the needle wasn't looking very good either, so I decided I'd change that too and found a new one for $8. It's a newer one and it is stereo, so I decided rather than easily hooking it up mono, I would run another set of wires to it and I would be able to play some of my newer stereo 45 records on it too. Now this may sound like a simple device, but the mechanics behind it and its design is really ingenious, especially when I think back that in 1949 there were no computers, no calculators, no CNC machines, no cell phones, no plastics, and the amplifiers were all tube type. The body's made out of bakelite, and when I think to sit and design this without any aids at all was probably quite a chore. So here I present how I rebuilt mine, made the fine adjustments, how I preserved my records, and how it works in sound. So let's take a trip back in time. Here we go. Okay, the first thing I've done is I've taken off the bottom. And that's what it looks like here. And now we're going to take this arm off and take the machine apart. Okay, the way this comes apart is there's a couple of screws here. To loosen this screw right here, so you can loosen this screw. You can take the arm off of the current turntable here. And you want to remove this spring right here. Okay, now we're going to drop the wires through the holes. But first I have to unsolder the wires. And we're going to pull the wires out through the hole. Okay. Okay, next we have to take this arm off. I'm making a mark there so I can put it back on the same way that it was before. And we'll loosen this screw up. Pulls that off, okay. And now this will pull right out of there like that. Okay. Next we want to take this off. And we take this off. So that's got to come off now. And now there's a couple of circlips. So this one has to come off. There's a little groove right there, and then this one has to come off. Okay, now we can turn this over, and we can take this off. All right. You want to make sure that this washer stays on with that bearing. Okay. And this is the wheel that we have to replace. Okay, next you turn this knob off, and you have to watch this little push button here that you have that. So you keep that and don't lose that. And we take the bakelite cover off, and this is what the inside of this mechanism looks like. Okay, this is the bad wheel, and there's a spring here, so you want to pull that little spring off and not lose that. And this is the bad wheel, and we can see the top part of this is broke, and it also has a a flat spot here that makes it going tick, tick, tick when it was running. Okay, got the new wheel. You want to clean this all with alcohol. Make sure that's nice and clean. And you want to clean the inside of this with the alcohol too, so there's no oil whatsoever in here. That's because that's the part that's going to rub. And you want to clean your motor shaft with alcohol. Now I've replaced the rubber grommets on the motor because they were bad. So I use servo mounting grommets. See, this is a cam deal. So that's turned so you can get just enough to get how much you want it to move and stop right where it lands on the record. Okay, this little spring that pulls against this is kind of weak. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add an extra hole to give it a little more tension. And I'm going to do that by drilling a hole right here. Now I can put that spring in that hole. Now I will hook this up to this side. Got a lot more tension there now, see? And now put on the new wheel. Yeah, okay, good tension now, see? Now we got to take that little spring again and put that on. Kind of screw that down on there. Just like that. Okay, good to go. And this little pin here has to go in this slot here. So you want to push that just like that. Keys back in. Big one is first. And that goes in this one. Just like that. And then the small one goes in here. Just like that. Now we want to put this back on. Line it up. Tighten the screws. Nice. That is amazing stuff. Okay. Good enough for now. Okay, before you put this together, you have to take your little push button here and you have to stick this up into this hole. And you want to make sure that stays in there so it pushes against this mechanism, which is your changer. So you want to put this back in there so that that doesn't fall out. Okay, and then go ahead and put your screws in. And take your on-off switch, push that back on, just like that. All right, so I'm going to turn it on now and see if it rotates before I do anything else. Good. I'm going to make this a stereo. Right now it's a mono. This is the stock old needle that was in it. It's crystal. It had 3 wires, a ground that hooked up to the side here, and then your ground and plus on this. And then the new wires that I'm connecting, which I've already put in here, the orange is ground. So I'll go ahead and run these through this hole onto the main arm. Bring that out up here. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and use this meter that Tom Ream sent me. It's a great meter. And we'll hook up the ground to this ground and ground on here. And yes, we got a ground there and we have a ground there. Good. Okay, keep that from hitting the top record. If you see, if I turn this around, that goes very high and this goes low. So what you want to do is set it so that it's just at that point. Now, this adjustment screw actually makes the needle go down on the record right where you want it to start. Perfect. All right, let's go ahead and put the new needle in. On the top of the cartridge, where the white and red wire, these two wires are right here, those are the plus sides. The bottom is the negatives. So this is the second wire that I've added, so I'm going to solder that in real quick. You'll notice those nuts there, I gooped those in for extra weight because the difference between the needles are a bit different. So I wanted that to be in there to add the extra weight. I put a piece of foam in here, and I'm going to take this other mount that was used on the old cartridge, and I'm going to screw that in, and this will keep pressure on it. Perfect. Okay, thing looks good here. Spring on there, and I'm going to set this in here like this. Tighten it up just enough so that it'll drop down nice, and then tighten this lock screw so it doesn't move, and that looks good. I've used Adam's VRT and their vinyl stuff on records for years. It's absolutely amazing how it preserves the record and quiets them down. You can get this stuff from Adams, or you can get some from me. I've left instructions in the description box. This is absolutely the best way to take care of your records if you value them. Okay, let's give it the test. These are mono records from the 1950s. This is stereo. You can really hear the difference.
We are not going to interrupt this record. Yes, we are. The flying saucer has landed again. Washington.
Well, there you go, folks. All working. If you find one of these and rebuild it, you can sell it on eBay. So now you know how to do it. So thanks for watching, folks. This is Dave. See you next time.